it's really about the backdrop and the context of the wealth sector for the last few years, and that is really firms have been very focused on, rightfully, at reducing cost. There's been huge commercial pressure driven by different drivers within the market, but firms have been enormous pressure to reduce the cost base. However, I think firms are starting to emerge from that now and are really almost getting to laws of diminishing returns in terms of cost savings, headcount reductions, cost saving initiatives. And I think the real questions we're seeing now come from the market and come from firms very directly are threefold. I think firstly, firms are now starting to refocus on, in terms of the cost-income ratio, well, we're focused on the cost bit for the last 3 years, but what about focusing on this income bit? I think the capabilities and proprietary insight we have with our client insight and client experience is a very powerful tool there. It's really helping firms increasingly think and answer this question now. How do we restart this top line growth? What is the proposition? What is the service model? What are the particular aspects of that? What are the branding considerations that we need to put in place to now start that top line growth, to see client referrals come in and to see new assets come in and see revenue build on that. So I think that's the first fundamental question which firms are starting to refocus on, and I think that's something we are in a very strong position, a very unique position to be able to help these firms with, given our unique capabilities within to understand client experience and how that translates into business benefit. And that, I think, is really the second key question we're being asked, or being able to answer, is how do we do this in a commercially sustainable way, is a very direct linkage to the insight and proprietary knowledge and insight we have with our McLagan side of the business, if you like, which is our pay insight, which is the biggest proxy for cost. Pay is the biggest driver of cost within a wealth manager, number one, but also our other proprietary insight around productivity, which in plain English means assets per banker and revenue per banker. And by understanding the client experience required, the cost to deliver that, and productivity, so the performance you're getting, you are able to really ensure that you are keeping those in kilter and have a clear correlation between the two, so you can deliver the right client experience and really understand what the impact is on business growth in terms of referrals, net asset growth and the revenue behind it. So that's the second key area which I think is important to keep in consideration, is the commerciality of what we're trying to do here. I think the third and final area has become a real hot topic over the last 6 to 12 months. And that's another broad question: what is the client experience I'm trying to deliver? Answering the question, well, do I have the right people? Do I have the right talent? Do I have the right skills? Do I have the right capabilities in place within my business to do that? And I suppose it's doing it now, but it's also about in the future. We hear a lot and read a lot about the transfer of wealth to a new client base. Millennials is a very broad term that's thrown out here. But essentially, the clients of the future will have different needs, different expectations, different preferences about how they're serviced, how sorts of products and offers they have around that. So it's a pretty fundamental question to be able to ask: do I have the right talent in my organisation now and in the future? And often the answer is no. So helping firms think through that with our proprietary insight around our assessment capability tools and our engagement tools really helps firms get a handle on actually how do I attract and retain the right talent that I want with my organisation, which I typically may not attract. So I think those are three very distinct areas that in isolation they've historically been very helpful for firms, but I think increasingly now the linkage between those is really where the real power is coming, and that's certainly areas where we're seeing a lot of benefit now that firms are starting to create from.